of registered voters in the local government areas and voting patterns witnessed in 2015. The same applies to council votes. In Nasarawa State, over 115,000 votes cancelled arbitrarily. Kogi State, 79,000 cancelled arbitrarily. Plateau State, 30,000 votes cancelled arbitrarily. Votes indicating that these high incidents of vote cancellation were designed to suppress the margin of victory in PDP-controlled strongholds. Strangulating the opposition. As part of their strategy to ensure that PDP is distracted from pursuing its stolen mandate, General Buhari's regime has decided to intensify their intimidation and strangulation of the opposition. Some prominent members of the opposition have been put on surveillance and penciled down, their names listed to be stopped from traveling out of the country. Gentlemen of the press, you can see that we have arrived at a place we never bargained for ourselves. This is going to be full-blown dictatorship. And this is where and how we urge you members of the press to stand up as you have always done against this emerging despotism in our lands before we become a laughing stock in the global democracy family again. As I end this press briefing, I present to you some graphs to buttress the broad day robbery which I have done of our vote. May I also, through you gentlemen of the press, urge our members and supporters across this nation. We thank them, members of the PDP, officers of the PDP across the nation, our governors who are very firm and gentle and cool-headed against all odds and provocation, especially our governors from the South and Southeast, where the wealth of the country comes from. They were provoked, maligned, shot down like they shot down the photographer of the governor of Bayelsa State. The state is in sorrow and pain. In Rivers State, a whole local government was shot down where over 9 people were killed. In Akwa Ibom State, the same thing. In those areas where the wealth of the country is coming from, they are in pain and in sorrow. The question is, are they under captives? Are they slaves? We want to urge the authorities that on the 9th March election that is coming, if the same thing is repeated, it means that democracy has completely failed, as we are seeing it in Nigeria. That is a full military rule. Our supporters should remain steadfast and focused, because, like our presidential candidate has assured, we shall triumph at the end, because democracy has come to stay in this country and is staying by the grace of God. We will triumph. We are not shaking. We are steadfast. We don't talk like them. We will not go to the gutter like them. We will go to court. You are aware that the Peace Committee met us. There was no condition, there was no issue of weather condition for peace and all that. We were asked to state our grievances, and which we did. There was no area where we demanded that, like some of the part of the media carried it today, there was nothing. There will be no if and buts. We are going to court. That decision has been taken, and we are heading to court. I also wish to reiterate to our security agencies once again, particularly the Army, that they are not at war with any section of our citizens. The Army must protect us and other security agencies. We are not at war with them. They must try as much as possible to be professional in their duties by staying away from election matters as directed by the Supreme Court of the land. Once again, may I assure you that through you were willing to continue to brief the country and indeed the international community of these anti-democratic behaviors of the APC administration. Thank you, and God bless you. And thank you, and God bless all of you. And declaration will be challenged in the court of law. And so we're doing everything necessary within the legal ambit to start the process of going to court. And that decision has been taken. But we will, from time to time, brief the Nigerian people through you that to update and unearth some of the both experience and the irregularities that was found in the last election. We're also aware that quite a number of both international observers, they've made comments, countries have made comments, but you're aware also that this is a Nigeria problem and must be resolved by Nigerians. The truth must be told. And we know that it is fast becoming the order of the day that the truth is now regarded as lies, and lies regarded as the truth. But with firm belief in God, that is a long journey and a long walk to freedom. Those of us who believe in 100% democracy, we will continue to put our issues right with the Nigerian people, with the firm belief that one day, the truth will be out. And so this afternoon, again, we want to thank the gentlemen of the press and here members of the National Working Committee are with me, and to raise some very critical issues that is of importance for Nigerian people and for our supporters across Nigeria to know that in this struggle to make sure that we fight for our rights legally, we will do everything that is required and necessary. Today's press briefing is tagged APC's body bag election. Gentlemen of the press, recall in my last press conference I told you that we will be briefing you from time to time on development from last Saturday's blatant rape on our democracy. Our presidential flag bearer in that election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, spoke with you on Wednesday, and the National Public Secretary of our party has been interacting with you on a daily basis. I have therefore come to you again today in continuation of our unearthing the brigandage of last Saturday, which I have tagged body bag election. When all Progressive Congress APC leaders were threatening foreign election monitors with returning to their country on body bags, we didn't know that they had designed the same thing for Nigerians. As at the last count, over 50 Nigerians have lost their lives last Saturday, most of them from the South-South region, where a division of the army with the GOC, the commander, were turned onto the people on the election day. As comfortable with blood, the deaths they recorded during their campaigns were not enough, as after their contraband ballot box victory and stolen mandate, they still hired some hoodlums sent to them to the street to go and kill themselves and further inconveniences degrading Nigerians while celebrating electoral robbery. May I crave your indulgence, gentlemen of the press, for a minute's silence for the repose of the souls of all Nigerians who were murdered on the election day, including the youths who were lured with funds to go and die celebrating when the rest of the citizens were grieving. May their soul and that of their faithful departed rest in perfect peace. Amen. You can see that the nation has been in a sorrow mood for our democracy that was dragged down last Saturday. 4 years after the world stood up for Nigeria for not only conducting a flawless election, but for going ahead, in addition, to have seamless transition to an opposition party. But we all are seeing the direct beneficiary of that, the rare democratic disposition, General Muhammad Buhari using the military to rob Nigerians of their right and their choice leaders of their choice. Effect of militarization on the last Saturday election. Never before seen in our history and in our country, even when the military was in power. I can recall that they conducted election. One was with Babangida, NRC, and SDP. Some of you who must have heard it or who are aware of it, that there was no military interference. It was a civil matter. It was clear, clean, and clear, as we have seen. That election between NRC and SDP went smoothly, and the winner was declared, or later annulled. You're also aware that the General Abu Salam conducted the election in 98-99. It was clear that there was no military participation. But in this last election, on the 23rd of February, you have seen clearly by the words of the president and by the action that was carried out on the 23rd of February. And you can see the videos and the YouTube and the pictures all over the country where the security agencies were directly involved. And as a matter of fact, it was now the PDP versus the military. And of course, you know, when you have a gun and you are talking to a civilian who has no gun, what will happen? And those are the videos and the snapshots you have witnessed in social media and then severally. And from time to time to let you know the truth so that you can compare You can hide some of the times you can fool the people, but the truth will come out one day. The clear effect of materializing the election, particularly in the South-South and the Southeast, in addition to the killing of innocent electorates, was the obvious suppression of voters who were either scared or chased away. Please, we will show some table, and then we'll show some graphic so that you can see things for yourself. Even by INEC's own record, voters turnout in the last Saturday's election fell to about 36% from 44% it was in 2015. So you can see it for yourself, and then we want the world to see it. We want Nigerian people to see what has happened. And we have promised that we will begin to do this from time to time so that people can see the truth, not the propaganda and not falsehood. You can see that in Yobe, can you?
Yes, in the blue.
Yes. Graphically. Shamelessly, they have again started mobilizing to use the same military to forcefully take over for APC, 2 PDP states and more in the South-South and Southeast. Credible intelligence available to the party show that the ruling party main link in INEC met with party's leadership as well as the military to review the planned strategy to take over these states. It is no longer an election between the PDP and APC and all the other parties. It is now military versus PDP in all the states in the South-South. If you recall that the governor's photographer in Bayelsa State was shot down by the military. In other words, we are convinced that between Friday 22nd and Saturday and 23rd and 25th, it was a silent declaration of state of emergency in the South-South, where the military took over and conducted election for PDP, for APC, in the PDP-controlled states. The PDP-controlled states where the military took over and conducted the election in favor of APC. It is important to note that, so that we want to appeal to all Nigerians and to the authorities. Will this continue in our country, setting a terrible precedent? It would have been better for the military to share offices and be part of politics and be part of this election, like it happened in several countries. Like which country is this? Maybe in Thailand or somewhere, where the military and the civilian, they share political offices. But for an institution that is highly respected professionally to be dragged into an election, we want to appeal that we still respect that institution, but they should keep to the rules and the provision of the Constitution for all of us. It is important for us to do that. If not, I don't know where we're heading to. But we will do everything that is legal within the legal framework of our country to make sure that we fight for our rights. But we want to appeal both to President Buhari after the election of 23rd, and after we have witnessed what happened. The entire country was militarized. All the security agencies were involved, conducting election in favor of APC. Please This is not good for democracy. This is not good for democracy. Allow the politicians to participate in the elections. As earlier mentioned, Kano, Borno, Yobe, and Zamfara fraud. While the military was suppressing voters in the PDP stronghold areas in the south, a different abracadabra was going on in some northern states, particularly in Kano, Yobe, Borno, and Zamfara states, where numbers refused to add up in Borno, Yobe, and Zamfara states. Confirmed report shows that there was no compliance in the use of smart card reader as approved by the INEC rules. The back-end report from the card readers for the various local government areas in these states will this further in these states as in others. The data is inconsistent. I'll give the legal entity. Where's the chairman? This is my personal chairman. Come, big one. Give a chairman.
Sir. Who's that? Okay. Sir.